Ever felt like you worked all day, checked off a dozen tasks, sat through endless meetings, but still ended up wondering, what did I actually accomplish? That's the paradox of productivity. We've been taught to equate busyness with being effective. But the truth is, busyness often hides the absence of real progress. It feels good to look busy, but it doesn't necessarily move you closer to your goals. In this video, we'll uncover why busyness tricks us, what real impact looks like, and how you can escape the illusion to create work that truly matters.
We live in a culture that glorifies busyness, from social media posts celebrating hustle to managers rewarding people who stay late. The unspoken message is, the busier you are, the more valuable you must be. But here's the problem. Busyness is not the same as productivity. Why do we fall for this illusion? Part of it is societal pressure. No one wants to look lazy. Part of it is fear of missing out. If everyone else is running, we feel like standing still will leave us behind. And part of it is biology. Each time we check off a small task, we get a dopamine hit. It feels like progress, even if those tasks are meaningless in the bigger picture.
The costs, however, are steep. Constant activity leads to shallow work, replying to endless emails, juggling low-value tasks, sprinting through meetings without focus. The result? Burnout, frustration, and a lack of true progress. We end up exhausted, but with little to show. Think of the people you've met who are always too busy, always rushing, always juggling, but when you step back, you realize their impact is minimal. They've mistaken movement for momentum. And that mistake can quietly derail an entire career.
So if busyness isn't productivity, what does impact look like? Impact means results. It's about moving the needle on meaningful goals, making contributions that matter, and focusing on outcomes instead of outputs. Think of productivity as the number of activities you complete. Impact is the difference those activities actually make. One of the clearest ways to understand this is through the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule. Roughly 80% of your results often come from just 20% of your efforts. That means most of what keeps you busy isn't truly important. The challenge and the opportunity is to identify your high-leverage activities, the tasks that generate disproportionate results.
Maybe for a developer, it's not spending hours cleaning up emails, but writing one elegant piece of code that automates dozens of processes. For a manager, it might not be attending every meeting, but mentoring one team member who goes on to create transformative solutions. The difference between activity and accomplishment is subtle but crucial. Activity fills time. Accomplishment moves things forward. Real productivity comes when we stop measuring effort by hours or check marks and start measuring by the results we deliver. Imagine two colleagues. One spends 60 hours a week jumping between tasks, answering every ping, staying late every night. The other works 40 hours that spends the majority of that time on high-value, strategic work. At the end of the month, it's the second person, the one who focused on impact, who drives real progress. That's the power of shifting from busyness to impact. Here's the hard truth. You don't need more hours in your day. You need more focus in the hours you already have. The myth of productivity says the longer you work, the more you achieve. But research shows that quality focus, not endless hours, is what produces breakthroughs. This is where the concept of deep work comes in. Deep work is about eliminating distractions, immersing yourself in high-value tasks, and creating the kind of flow state where you produce your best work. How do you get there? One strategy is time blocking. Instead of reacting to constant interruptions, you plan chunks of your day for deep, uninterrupted work.
Another strategy is ruthlessly cutting out the non-essential. Every task has an opportunity cost. If you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. Productivity means protecting your focus for what truly matters. And let's bust one myth while we're here: multitasking. We think juggling tasks makes us efficient, but the science is clear. Multitasking destroys focus, increases errors, and wastes time through constant context switching. Strategic focus means choosing one important thing, finishing it well, and then moving to the next.
So, how can you shift from busy to impactful in practice? Start with the Eisenhower Matrix. This simple 2x2 framework helps you sort tasks by urgency and importance. Most people get stuck in the urgent but not important quadrant, reacting all day. The magic happens when you shift to the important but not urgent quadrant. That's where high-value strategic work lives. Next, try the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. This prevents small tasks from snowballing into major distractions later. Finally, adopt reflection rituals. At the end of each week, ask, what energized me? What drained me? What actually moved me closer to my goals? These small adjustments compound over time, helping you cut busy work and double down on impact.
At the end of the day, productivity isn't about filling your schedule, it's about creating space for what truly matters. When you stop glorifying busyness and start prioritizing impact, you reclaim your evenings, your energy, and your peace of mind. You create room for hobbies, relationships, and growth outside of work. And ironically, this balance fuels better results at work, too. So here's my call to action. Stop asking yourself, how busy was I today? Start asking, what impact did I create? Subscribe for more insights on productivity, focus, and career growth. Share this with someone stuck in the busyness trap. And comment below, what's the #1 change you'll make this week to shift from busy to impactful?